Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. So, you people don't have any test today. इतने सारे टेस्ट चल रहे हैं, किसी का जीएस का ऑप्शनल का समथिंग. चलिए. Am I audible and the sheet is visible to everyone? So without further ado, let's start. Okay, the first news is with respect to SARC and BIMSTEC. In this, we need to look, of course, it is from GS paper 2, your syllabus about thoda zoom, okay. How about now? Okay. So SARC versus BIMSTEC. Basically, it is important in the context of your, of course, GS paper 3, mein, you have a syllabus with respect to IR. In that, you have to understand this. Most importantly, these are SARC and BIMSTEC. These are kind of regional organizations. So we have to look at that. Before starting that, again, the background. So I believe we all understand the concept of state. Of course, pata hai na, what is a state? Territory with a population and a sovereign. In this element of sovereignty, this was an outcome of, आपको बहुत बार मैं बता चुका हूँ numerous current events में. This sovereignty element was an outcome of which treaty? कोई याद नहीं. Which treaty led to this outcome of sovereignty? Yes, Westphalia. Exactly. The Westphalian treaty basically, and this concept is known as Westphalian notion of sovereignty. So we know from the history that the 30-year war was there. Ultimately, it was a fight between the church and the kings. Over time, this king system has given birth to the democracy as we know today. So the power that were to be exercised by the king was divided into three parts. That is the legislature, executive, and the judiciary. Because we do not believe in concentration of power, and this is, we know by the logic of separation of power, clubbing this with checks and balances. यहाँ तक सबको पता है already? Any confusion? कुछ any concept यहाँ तक जो नहीं पता? सबको पता ठीक है. So this is a brief story of evolution of modern state. And along with this, this is polity part. If we go to IR, then we know in initial when this Westphalian notion of sovereignty came, with this a concept came by the term of balance of power. That is, in international affairs, there are certain countries which will try to achieve roughly equal power, because absolute equal power is not possible, but roughly is possible. And if any country becomes the aggressor, the other country will come together to punish that aggression. The logic is they will be roughly balance of power. If any country acquire too much power by any measure, so the other countries are supposed to come together to punish that aggressor. So that was balance of power, but it failed multiple times. Most importantly, World War I and World War II. That was a failure of this concept. So we thought we need to organize this world on different principles that gave birth to the principle of collective security. That gave, yes, collective security in the speech of yes, Woodrow Wilson. चलो बढ़िया, everyone remember these things. तो यहाँ तक तो we all know. अब देखिए, तो we collective security पे बेस करते हुए we founded a body by the name of United Nations. Lofty goals, lofty ideals. So we had discussed already that the only responsibility we gave to United Nations was peace. And we all know how marvelously it has failed to ensure peace. आप currently देख लीजिए Ukraine war. The UN is supposed to maintain peace, but Ukraine war is happening. The world is embroiled in war, world is embroiled in conflict, and UN is a mute spectator. We all can see collective security is also not functioning largely. Nonetheless, वो फिर कभी के लिए. So what happened? We started to think here collective security at the world level is not working. So why shouldn't we shift to a smaller organization? And that gave birth to the regionalization of politics. Regionalization of politics. Successful example of regionalization are European Union and ASEAN. And nowadays, another body is emerging by the name of African Union. These all are example of regionalism. That is, that all the regional countries, because collective security at the world level is a failure. This सबको दिख रहा है. Ukraine was the prime example in today's time, let alone historical examples. So we thought, why shouldn't we shift from this world level collective security to something concrete at a smaller level? And that gave birth to the idea of regionalization. So various countries are permanently coming together, and the most successful one is European Union in Europe, ASEAN in Southeast Asia, and African Union in Africa. These are the three prominent, I must say. On the line of this regionalization, अच्छा यहाँ तक बताइए, सब clear? Up till here, we have discussed multiple times. कोई question किसी को यहाँ तक? Any concept that you want to could not understand? Clear है सबको तो? अब आते हैं SAARC. So we thought, why shouldn't we have a similar body? The way Europe has EU, why shouldn't we have a similar body? That gave birth to the SAARC. And it was later on followed by BIMSTEC. So what you need to know, two things you need to know. One is for prelims. For prelims, you need to know the composition of these bodies. What are the members of SAARC? Primarily all South Asian countries, including Afghanistan. BIMSTEC में, you need to know what are the members. All the members of SAARC except Pakistan and Afghanistan, and including Thailand and Myanmar. So why we are discussing this news? Because what is happening is government of India is moving toward BIMSTEC. The government of India is putting its entire energy to move toward the BIMSTEC idea, away from the SAARC. For that, we need to understand the failure of SAARC. उसी पे ही the failure of SAARC. So what are the reasons? Number one, India, Pakistan. We all understand how we conduct our business. The biggest reason SAARC is considered a failure is India, Pakistan. And India, Pakistan में, I believe हमने पढ़ा है, सबको पता भी होगा. There was a policy during Modi government. Any idea policy of Modi government that has led to this failure of SAARC? नहीं, talks with बोलो तो बीजेपी का उसकी कांग्रेस की थी, मनमोहन सिंह had that policy. Yes, no talks with terror, exactly. तो zero talks with terror सीधी सी बात है, no talks with terror सीधी सी बात है. On paper it appears a good policy because it shows that a government of India is a strong government, means Modi is a strong man. But nonetheless, it does not work very much for the nation. We had understood because of this, we have basically given Pakistan on a platter to China. वैसे भी उसके पास था, but we gave on a platter. Nonetheless, so the biggest reason for the failure of SARC is India-Pakistan, and that is the reason the last summit took place in Kathmandu. That is capital of Nepal. Since then, no summit has taken place, none whatsoever. The reason is India-Pakistan. First thing. Second thing, the failure is India is this South Asia is a very peculiar case. If you look at EU, if you look at EU, ASEAN, AU, they are different in the sense that India is a case of reverse regionalism. Sorry, SARC is a case of reverse regionalism. Now, what is this reverse regionalism and how it works? Just a second. Basically, if you look at entire India, entire Indian subcontinent, which you now can call it as South Asia. So, entire Indian subcontinent, where you see that we were one country, one idea. For example, who is more similar to an Indian, a Pakistani or an American? Who is more similar to an Indian, a Pakistani or an American? Of course, Pakistani. Pakistan is basically India's 29th state. ठीक है, हो सकता है फ्यूचर में. So that is the logic that basically South Asia as an entire subcontinent, Indian subcontinent, it was basically one culture, one identity. Maybe diversity in culture, that's okay, but nonetheless one identity. So Britishers used to say this. Whenever we said that India should get independence, they used to say that India is not a nation, it is a geographical expression. They used to say geographical. Whenever we said give us freedom, that is make India a free country, they used to say that you are not a nation, you are a geographical expression. Because India is, वैसे देखा जाए तो it was a geographical expression, there are numerous diversity. So अब understand like this, if you want to justify your existence, जो पाकिस्तान के केस में समझते हैं that Pakistan has spent its entire life just to justify its existence. And what is the idea of Pakistan? What is the idea of Pakistan? Yes, two nations theory. We all understand that. That Pakistan is based on the idea that Muslims will never be treated with dignity and equality in India. So we need to have a separate nation. That was the idea of Pakistan. So India's continuation as a secular state with Muslims having all the rights is a direct denial of Pakistan's survival. मतलब उनके पैदा होने पे we have raised the question. And that is the biggest frustration Pakistan has. How to justify its existence when you have India continuing as a secular country. ठीक है, अभी जो हो रहा है, I'm not counting that. So that is reverse regionalism. Regionalism में all the हाँ वासुदेव कुटुंब. So what happens in regionalism? All the bodies, all the nations in a region come together to create one identity. जैसे EU, European Union, identity of Europe. All the European countries come together to create one identity. In India, in SARC, it is reverse. Once upon a time, it used to be one identity by the name of India. Later on, it got divided. So everyone asserts their identity. Nepal asserts that it's a different country, but Nepal is culturally similar to India. It's a Hindu Rashtra basically. Majority are Hindus. So Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, or Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, for example, Sri Lanka was settled by Indian King Prince Vijaya. He settled Sri Lanka. He went from North India and settled Sri Lanka. Just a second. That is important one. Okay, sorry for that. So reverse realism सबको clear है that all countries are trying to assert their independent identity so as to justify their right to exist, and that is the reason SARC is a failure. Second reason, third reason why SARC is a failure. It was created by a negative mindset. How negative mindset? Because if you see in SARC, there is disproportionate power gap. India, on the one hand, is the largest country with largest population, largest economy, largest military. In entire SARC, India is the most powerful nation. That is the reason it is argued that actually SARC was not created to achieve regionalism, to achieve integration. It was a ploy of the smaller powers in South Asia to corner India into a grouping. Negative mindset. Other countries basically became SARC member not to get more integrated with India, but to corner India. That is coming together in a group. For example, you bring a person in a group just to counter that person. उसका मजाक बनाने के लिए. Go to a party, you take one person, not because you like him, just because कोई तो होना चाहिए मजाक बनाने के लिए. Logic is clear. The negative mindset. ठीक है. So so that is these are the biggest problems. India, Pakistan, the fundamental one, reverse regionalism, the psychological one, and negative mindset, another psychological. That's why SARC is a failure. And Indian government understands this very well that SARC is a failure and SARC will not be resurrected. Why? Because India will not talk with Pakistan without giving up terrorism. And for Pakistan, terrorism is a part of state policy. So how can Pakistan give up terrorism? So ultimately, what today government of India is doing, it is pushing PIMSEC. That's why यहाँ पे notes में I have written this. Modi ji has said that it is a natural platform. यहाँ पे PM Modi has said that PIMSEC is a natural platform to fulfill India's key foreign policy priorities. Most importantly, neighborhood first and act peace. अब ये दोनों चीजें क्या हैं? लेकिन neighborhood first is a conceptualization of Modi ji to assert that all the neighbors are an integral part of India's vision. India wants to grow, but not alone, along with all the neighbors. That is neighborhood first. Act East policy that was initiated by PV Narasimha Rao in 1991. The logic was that USSR got disintegrated in 1991. India became an orphan child. It is sad when USSR got disintegrated, the Russians were in pain, but the Indians were crying. So basically, India became an orphan child. And this orphan child must get the new guardian. So because of that, India adopted a policy called new economic policy. Based on that, India started trading with the world. So Act East was a component of trading, engaging more with the entire world, particularly with the Eastern world. Clear up both points, neighborhood first and Act East, logic why they were brought, what they want to achieve. Any question up till here? Okay. चलिए next is S Jaishankar. Abhi he is the current foreign minister of ours. So he has said that India sees a mix of energy, mindset, and possibility. This shows that this government is pushing BIMSTEC vis-a-vis SARC, and the reason we all understand. Reason is SARC is a failure. We will not talk with Pakistan whatever happens because no talks with terrorism. But there is another reason, the fundamental one. मैंने एक dilemma की बात की थी in previous Saturday. Does anyone remember that this government is in a dilemma especially when it comes to Pakistan? Yes, strongman dilemma. Yes, you have convoluted Pakistan too much for your internal politics, and that's the problem nations do. When you make someone demon in your country, you cannot negotiate with the demon. Because your stronger vote bank, the vote bank you created for yourself, will hate that. Compare this with Bangladesh. Bangladesh, we gave a large economic zone of India. We had economic zone on Bangladesh border, which we were claiming, but we gave to Bangladesh. Why? Because क्या हमें territory पसंद नहीं है? We love our territory. Why? Because देखिए Bangladesh is not convoluted in India. ऐसा नहीं है we use Bangladesh every day for elections in India. Or India's media does not talk every second of their life about Bangladesh. So unko we gave some part to earn a friend. That's how it happened. For example, you go to some basic logic. If you want to make friends somebody, you go to a date or something, you spend some money. You don't have money to spend on your home. खुद के खाने के लिए you are living in a better life, but you spend money on somebody else to earn a good friend. That's the logic. You are accruing an expenditure, but to earn a friend. यहाँ नहीं कर सकते. जलवा भी होता है, पटाना भी तो होता है, तो वही चलता है यहाँ पे. तो हमने बांग्लादेश को पटाने की कोशिश करी. अब पाकिस्तान के केस में हम नहीं कर सकते. We cannot give even an inch of territory of India, because if we give, then the demon that you have created for your internal vote bank, आप उसे कैसे satisfy करेंगे? And they are the biggest supporter of yours. If every day you talk about India, Pakistan, Hindu Musliman. That is the problem. So you can consider it like this: as long as this government is in power, SARC is a dead body. However, I do believe that strongmen serve themselves at the cost of people. We need to differentiate between the leader and the nation. A leader is something who comes and goes. Indira Gandhi used to be very popular, but she also went away. This prime minister will go away. Next prime minister will go away. Prime minister will keep on changing. Nobody is permanent. Nobody is permanent. But what happens when you convolute your interest with the interest of nation? For example, how come questioning the integrity or morality of a single minister becomes questioning the government of India? For example, I am criticizing some minister for his orientation or his work. So how come it become criticizing government of India? How come it become a case of sedition? So getting the point. Often it is a problem with everyone. Everyone who is in power does that, including judiciary. Contempt of court, for example. How they convolute your criticism for the government, for a judge, for something. They convolute it as a criticism of judiciary. Why I criticize the judge, not the judiciary. So clear that it will not happen. चलिए अब बिमस्टेक को हम प्रमोट कर रहे हैं. अब व्हाट इज द मेन इशू? द मेन इशू इज आई टोल्ड यू दिस थर्ड पॉइंट that SARC was created with a negative mindset. It was a ploy of the small countries to corner India. The thing in BIMSTEC is BIMSTEC में the country like Nepal and Sri Lanka, they want resurrection of SARC. Nepal and Sri Lanka, which are the member of both SARC and BIMSTEC, they are promoting SARC. They want SARC to become resurrect and become the true South Asian regional cooperation. But BIMSTEC को India is promoting. So you can see their conflict. Another thing is in Thailand and Myanmar. Thailand and Myanmar are already part of ASEAN. So they neither have the time nor the energy to focus too much on BIMSTEC. So they are more focused on ASEAN. But nonetheless, government is pushing for BIMSTEC. Clear? So these are the issues surrounding these bodies. So this is a very important thing. Could come in question. Could come in means asking that how you see the future of BIMSTEC or compare SARC with BIMSTEC. Very important these two. बोलिए यहाँ पे कोई क्वेश्चन हो? Anyone else in mind, please ask. सार्क के यस कुछ सक्सेसफुल प्रोजेक्ट रहे हैं, जैसे साउथ एशियन यूनिवर्सिटी है हमारे पास, सार्क फूड बैंक. बिफोर दिस गवर्नमेंट देयर वर न्यूमरस प्रोजेक्ट्स. सार्क फूड बैंक और साउथ एशियन यूनिवर्सिटी. इस गवर्नमेंट में देयर वाज वन थिंग, सार्क सैटेलाइट, दैट वाज सक्सेसफुल. सार्क के बिफोर दैट न्यूमरस रहे हैं. सार्क एंड बिमस्टेक में ऐसे वीटो तो मेंबरशिप को लेके कह सकते हैं, बिकॉज ऑल मेंबर हैव टू एग्री फॉर अ न्यू मेंबर टू कम. बाकी ऐसे वीटो पावर का कोई लॉजिक नहीं. गिने चुने तो कंट्री है, 8 कंट्रीज में कहां वीटो. But nonetheless, all you can say when no one has veto, it means everyone has veto. Clear up hai? When no one has veto, but virtually everyone has veto. Anyone can deny any action. Okay. So if a question comes in main, you will conclude by writing that we should push BIMSTEC, because it's very clear SARC में हो ही नहीं सकता. And in that you can put Jaishankar's statement directly in suggestion. Jaishankar has said we need to promote these kind of things. Why? एक second, where is that? Jani. Okay, Thailand and Myanmar, 2 countries are there. included because we wanted to expand. I told you ना यहाँ पे they are the member of ASEAN. I told you here. Act East policy के तहत we want to move east, more engagement, more business, more interaction. So and we know east में क्या है? What we have in east? In east we have ASEAN, our regional organization of Southeast Asia, and in this they have Thailand and Myanmar, and we have them in BIMSTEC. So we thought that they can become our gateway to ASEAN. Clear, Aman? Any other question on this? नहीं है, चलिए. So these are the things. बाकी आप देखें यहाँ पे read कर सकते हैं. I have given some point as the excellence of the BIMSTEC charter. BIMSTEC charter has some good things. For example, Article 6. You're not important to remember. You just remember that BIMSTEC charter talks about admission of new members to the grouping, but SAC is silent on this. मतलब BIMSTEC में new member can be added, but nonetheless it must be by consent. All country must agree तब new member आएगा, which has a provision. SAC में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. SAC को, but nonetheless every country if agree we can expand. Issue में देखिए एक चीज बताई जाती है. BIMSTEC charter में एक issue है. There is one issue that we can eradicate, an idea called ASEAN minus X formula. This is important for prelims. Prelims and UPSC can directly ask which of the following statement represent ASEAN minus X. ऐसे छोटे-छोटे concepts ना they ask directly in prelims. Which of the following may mean ASEAN minus X? So remember this idea. Basically, it says, for example, ASEAN में मान लेते हैं there are 10 members there. If I bring, I think तो 11 हो गए. You check it. 11 हो गए. The last member that नाम देंगे ना. One is writing something. So देखिए, what happens? For example, I bring an agreement. मान लेते हैं transport pact. Say for example, I bring a transport agreement by which say for example, a car registered in any of the ASEAN nation can go through all of the nations. They do not have to worry about checkpost visa and all. If you have for example license to drive of one country, it is valid in all ASEAN countries. इस तरीके का if I bring, I told you na why SARC, because SARC was created to balance India. All members, ये आपका क्या होता है पाकिस्तान, नेपाल. अब देखिए श्रीलंका always supported Pakistan in its war, never supported India. So what they are trying to do, they are trying to resurrect SARC so that India can be balanced. BIMSTEC में nobody can balance India, क्योंकि किसी की animosity है नहीं India से. Clear, Aman? Third point is important. SARC was created with a negative mindset to balance India. आसियान में वी आर नॉट अ मेंबर. उसके अलावा कौन सी थी? साक है, बिम्स्टेक है, बीआरआई में वी आर नॉट अ मेंबर. ये बॉडी है मेन बॉडीज. छोटी छोटी तो बहुत है. आर कैप आसियान का हिस्सा है, आसियान का पार्ट है. आसियान के तहत नेगोशिएट हुआ था. इट इज ऑलरेडी वेरी मच डिग्रेडेड. आप देखिए अब हमारे लिए अच्छा हो गया. नेपाल में देखिए कंसीडर दिस, नेपाल डज नॉट लाइक इंडिया. नो पॉलिटिशियन नेपाल लाइक इंडिया. अभी इंडिया नेपाल आई एम नॉट टीचिंग. नेपाल में देयर सो मेनी इश्यूज. एवरी इलेक्शन में नेपाल में द वे इन एवरी इलेक्शन इंडियन मीडिया डज नॉट शो दिस मच बिकॉज यू नो, बिकॉज नेपाल इज अ हिंदू राष्ट्र. ठीक है, तो अगर नेपाल में दे विल शो दैट दे आर क्रिटिसाइजिंग इंडिया एवरी सेकंड ऑफ देयर लाइफ, तो यू नो पॉलिटिक्स काम नहीं करती है ऐसे. ठीक है, पाकिस्तान में मेक्स एन एंगल, गुड पॉलिटिकल एंगल. नेपाल में एवरी इलेक्शन में इंडिया इज डीमोनाइज्ड. नेपाल कंसीडर्ड इटसेल्फ एज अ यैम बिटवीन द बॉर्डर्स. मतलब दो पत्थरों के बीच में पिस रहा है वो. दीज आर द टू स्टोन्स आर चाइना एंड इंडिया. और नेपाल में every election they criticize India. Every election they say India is a big bully, India is doing this, India is doing that. But media does not show Nepal because can say much. But आप सबको समझ में आ रहा होगा why it gives a particular angle there. Nonetheless, श्रीलंका की जहाँ तक बात है, श्रीलंका did not like India because relations में बता रहा हूँ, because we participated in Sri Lankan civil war from Tamil nationalists. अब देखिए this is very convoluted है. मैं एक चीज हमेशा कहता हूँ, somebody is terrorist is somebody is patriot. For Sri Lanka, the Tamil nationalists fighting against Sri Lankan government, that is the LTTE and all, they were basically terrorists. But India, because Tamil Nadu is there, so we had a very sympathetic view toward them. तो हम उन्हें freedom fighter, खासकर तमिलनाडु में, हाँ we help them. That's a way of that is a way of getting a neighbor. That is a way of we understand that they do not like us much, but we want to help them so that the people will have less anti-India sentiment. ठीक है, first thing. Second thing, if we will not help, China will help. तो हम ये नहीं चाहते हैं. ऐसा नहीं है कि we have a big heart, ठीक है. We took the argument, but because we don't want China will be there, US will be there. Country बैठी है पैसा लेके. They want somebody who can say here, but पैसे के लिए वाला scene. Clear है? If we will not help, somebody else will help, and that it will be a problem for us. China, हमारे रिलेशन कुछ खास अच्छे रहे नहीं है, खासकर राजपक्षा ब्रदर्स में. Nonetheless, clear है ना issue, all the issues? और कोई क्वेश्चन पूछिए, then I will move. Anyone else? नहीं है, ठीक है. तो मैं ये बता रहा था ASEAN -1. So remember this for prelims only as a concept. For example, I bring a transport agreement which allows you to use the, for example, visa or license of one country in all the countries. That agreement I bring. Let's say for example. So under ASEAN -X formula, if any of the country disagree, because ASEAN works on consensus, all members must agree. Then only the decision is implemented. मान लेते हैं one member says I don't like this idea. So because of one member, maybe numerous reasons, for internal politics, for other reasons, that member disagree. So 10 members should suffer because one member is creating a veto. For that, they have arrived at a formula, ASEAN -X. X could be anything. In this agreement, if such agreement comes and the rest of the members agree, so the member which does not agree can later on join. मतलब मान लेते this agreement will be passed by ASEAN under the mechanism of ASEAN -1 because one member disagree. अब मान लेते 2 member disagree and 9 agrees. So it will be ASEAN -2, ASEAN -3, ASEAN -4. And the remaining member who are left there, they all will implement. And later on, when this agreement is a deadlock नहीं होगा. That is to be I want to avoid. ना यहाँ पे क्या है? Even one member disagree, there is a deadlock. यहाँ पे there will be no deadlock because whichever member does not agree to the agreement, it can stay out of the agreement. That agreement will be implemented in the entire region except that country. And later on, they can join if they like. This is called ASEAN -X. Clear, Priyanshi? Shivani. Yes, Shivani, go ahead. No need to pardon. Question पूछिए. -X. X means anyone. X means one. Shivani, what you are asking? Shall I explain this again or what you are saying? I don't get it. अच्छा ठीक है, चलो मैं दोबारा समझाता हूँ. Taking a different example. देखिए, let's take a real example. Real example is there is something called as देखिए SARC में we try to bring SARC में in which India is a member, we tried to bring a motor vehicle agreement. That was basically to enhance trade. Motor vehicle agreement we tried to bring. What happened? Pakistan did not agree on this. Pakistan did not agree. Because of this, this agreement was not adopted by SAARC. So a good agreement which could achieve better integration in the region was in a deadlock because one country did not agree. So ASEAN has tried to do away with this. They have brought an idea of ASEAN minus X formula. If I say, for example, if I rename SAARC as ASEAN, let's for an example. In that case, if I introduce this motor vehicle agreement in ASEAN, Pakistan will not agree. So Pakistan will not join this agreement. But this agreement will be passed by ASEAN. Pakistan can later join. In this case, ASEAN mein currently we have 8 members. Pakistan did not agree. So this will become, this will become SAARC minus 1. SAARC minus 1 formula से this agreement will be implemented and Pakistan can later join. चलिए, this is a good idea. We should have it. Basic logic here. Please remember this ASEAN minus 1 idea. Can be asked directly if required. तो ASEAN minus 4 हो जाएगा. X का मतलब है any member. 4 member disagree, ASEAN minus 4 हो जाएगा. हाँ, लेकिन इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि 9 member disagree तो ASEAN minus 9 हो जाएगा, क्योंकि फिर बचा ही एक member. फिफ्टी 50 केस हुआ नहीं, हो सकता है दे मे हैव अ टॉस. यूजुअली ऐसा होगा नहीं. अगर 50-50 होगा तो वो पास नहीं करेंगे, फायदा नहीं होगा ना. दे इट विल अचीव नथिंग. एक दो मेंबर पे चलता है, ज्यादा केस में वो अग्री नहीं करेंगे बिकॉज इट विल नॉट बी गुड फॉर द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. मोटर व्हीकल अग्रीमेंट सार्क में आया था एक्चुअली. देखिए यहाँ पे मैंने मेंशन किया है नोट्स में. ये रहा मोटर व्हीकल अग्रीमेंट. एक्चुअली सार्क में दिस एग्रीमेंट केम, जिसका मेन लॉजिक था द मेन लॉजिक टू प्रमोट ट्रेड. जैसे हमारे ट्रक्स वगैरह होते हैं ना, दे कैन इजीली गो थ्रू ईच कंट्री इन ऑल द सार्क मेंबर. सो इट वुड हैव एनहांस्ड ट्रेड, बट पाकिस्तान हैज ब्लॉक्ड इट. ठीक है, चलो. तो वी हैव कवर्ड मोर लेस एवरीथिंग, सार्क एंड ऑल. बिमसेक में भी अंडरस्टूड, फॉर्मूला भी अंडरस्टूड. ठीक है. नाउ अप हियर टेल मी एनी क्वेश्चन. कोई भी, किसी के पास भी कोई भी क्वेश्चन हो, फील फ्री टू आस्क. चलिए, तो अब नेक्स्ट न्यूज की बात करते हैं. सेंट्रल बैंक डिजिटल करेंसी. दिस इज फ्रॉम योर जीएस पेपर 3 एंड यू हैव टू लिखिए. इसमें आई वांट टू टेल यू समथिंग अबाउट साइंस एंड टेक. UPSC asks science and tech question which are non-technical nature. Non-technical means if a technology comes, so they will not go in nuances. What coding is used, what algorithm is used. That is not UPSC style. Why I'm telling this? Because you will see a lot of magazines in numerous coaching. बिमस्टेक सार्क का है. सार्क का आई बिलीव इसमें क्या बोलते हैं, नेपाल में है, जहाँ मुझे याद आ रहा है. HQ सार्क का नेपाल में है, और बिमस्टेक का आई बिलीव बांग्लादेश या थाईलैंड में कहीं पे. हाँ, ढाका में है ना. ठीक है, ठीक है. तो दे हैव देयर हेडक्वार्टर. और इतना डिटेल जरूरत नहीं है हमें. प्लीज रिमेंबर, डू नॉट गो इन टू मच. UPSC एक्सपेक्ट यू टू नो एवरीथिंग विदाउट इन डिटेल. दे डज नॉट वांट टू डू PhD. थोड़ा बहुत आइडिया है, इट विल वर्क, बट you selective studies is required. Otherwise content is so vast you will be drowned. तो इतना डिटेल नहीं जाएगा. कि हेडक्वार्टर एट मोस्ट यू नो फाइन, उससे ज्यादा डिटेल जरूरत नहीं है कि कौन चेयरमैन बना कौन नहीं बना. नोबडी आस्क्स. स्टेट में पूछ ले तो बात अलग है. देखिए स्टेट साइंस एंड टेक में, तो आई वाज टेलिंग डू नॉट गो टू मच इन टेक्निकलिटीज. UPSC is hiring administrator not scientist. तो you do not need to know every nuance कि this मिसाइल में इस एंगल पे उड़ती है, नहीं. If you have a general idea what kind of engines are used and what kind of fuel is used, what is the stages, more than sufficient. 2 or 3 point technical point, not in detail, sufficient. दूसरा डिटेल में मत जाएगा, वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम. So we will look at this news from that perspective, and then you have to link science and tech with society. That is the most important part. You need to know how that innovation will help society. For example, in governance, in polity, anywhere, जहाँ भी possibility बने, उसके context में. So here we are talking about central bank digital currency, and this in this for prelims you need to know few details कि how it works, and that is non-technical. आपको जानने की जरूरत नहीं व्हाट काइंड ऑफ अलॉगरिथम इज यूज्ड, ठीक है, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी इज यूज्ड, इस तरह की नहीं. नॉन टेक्निकल नॉलेज आपको चाहिए, जैसे वेदर इट विल बी सेंट्रलाइज और डिसेंट्रलाइज, ठीक है, वेदर इट कैन बी हेल्ड ऑफलाइन ऑनलाइन, वेदर इट कैन बी हेल्ड इन वॉलेट और नॉट, इस काइंड देख लेते हैं क्या है. टेक्निकल डिटेल्स नहीं चाहिए एज आई टोल्ड यू. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल यू डू नॉट नीड टू नो कि प्रॉपर्ली आपने व्हेन यू हैव दैट चिप, तो चिप कैसे ट्रांसमिट करती है, व्हाट फ्रीक्वेंसी इज दैट, इस तरह की नॉलेज नहीं चाहिए. जनरल नॉलेज, फॉर एग्जांपल देयर इज अ फ्रीक्वेंसी, इट यूजेस अ रेडियो फ्रीक्वेंसी, बस. रेडियो में डिटेल नहीं चाहिए आपको, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ रेडियो वेव इज यूज्ड, नहीं, सिर्फ इतना पता होना चाहिए इट यूज रेडियो वेव और नॉट रेडियो, फाइन. क्लियर है, ज्यादा डिटेल नहीं करना है, टेक्निकल में यूज नहीं हो पाती. अब देखते हैं कैसे. ठीक है, इसमें सेंट्रल बैंक डिजिटल करेंसी में मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट प्रीलिम्स के लिए यू नीड टू नो अबाउट डिजिटल करेंसी. दिस पार्ट इज इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर प्रीलिम्स. मेंस के लिए यू नीड टू नो अ कंपैरिजन बिटवीन दिस एंड क्रिप्टो करेंसी एंड लिंकेज ऑफ दिस एंड क्रिप्टो करेंसी with internal security and society. Two things. This is for mains and this is prelims. So parallel, let's look at prelims. What has happened news is RBI has recently launched a digital rupee on pilot basis. Means it is yet to come for public. अभी it generally selected group में चल रहा है. ठीक है, initially selected group of public and private banks will offer digital currency in few major cities. Digital currency can be used both. ये important point है. This can be comes in prelims directly. That the out of the statement, one statement can say digital currency can be used for person to merchant transactions only. तो statement क्या हो जाएगी, wrong, because digital currency can be used for both person to person and person to merchant. इस तरह से यूपीएससी आस्क, टेक्निकलिटीज नहीं, जिस तरह के नुआंस फैक्ट्स. सेकंड फैक्ट, फर्स्ट फैक्ट दिस, सेकंड. Second is it is similar to the physical cash, the way you have rupee in your pocket, but it is held electronically. It is similar to your rupee, but the only difference is you can have it electronically. It will be overseen, most important point, it will be overseen by RBI. RBI recognizes digital rupee as a legal tender. Now it has been accepted, now it has to be accepted by everyone in the country as a medium of exchange. इस पे क्वेश्चन है. For example, you have that note. अगर कोई आपका नोट नहीं लेता, if somebody does not take your note, so under what law he can be prosecuted? If somebody does not take your currency, जो नोट आप देते हैं, under what law? नोट की बात कर रहा हूँ, अभी हम कब पे करेंगे. UPI is a bit different. UPI, देखिए ये ई रूपी पे फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल देयर इज नो प्रॉपर क्लियरिटी एज ऑफ नाउ बिकॉज इट इज रनिंग ऑन पायलट बेसिस. हाउ सक्सेसफुल इट वुड बी, व्हाट आर द डीप नुआंसेस, वो भी पता नहीं है. We need to wait for some time to get better clarity. But so far, what we know is that it can be used for both person to merchant transaction. It is equivalent to physical rupee. गूगल पे फोन पे में फर्क है. गूगल पे फोन पे में देयर इज नो करेंसी स्टोर, देयर इज नथिंग कॉल्ड फोन पे करेंसी और गूगल पे करेंसी. व्हाट यू डू इज it is you link your bank account to that Google Pay or something. It is a intermediary. It just facilitate transaction. When you do a transaction, it just cut money from your account and deposit in somebody else's account. Bas. It does not hold money. But यहाँ पे it holds money. This money will be held. जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल मान लेते हैं, ये मोबाइल की बात करते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल लाइक दिस, यू विल हैव अ, अच्छा ये नहीं, मेट्रो कार्ड, हैव यू सीन, आप पता नहीं हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू सीन दिल्ली मेट्रो कार्ड, कभी देखा आप लोगों ने? नहीं देखा, अच्छा एक सेकंड. फॉर एग्जाम्पल दिस इज दिल्ली मेट्रो कार्ड, तो ये इस तरीके का दिस कार्ड इट लुक्स लाइक. तो बट दिस कार्ड हैज अ स्मॉल चिप हियर, यहाँ पे स्मॉल चिप है, and that chip when you put this card on the reader, so this card and that reader have radio connection, उसमें radio frequency emits that reads this chip, and then it cuts the amount from the card में number है, and this number is deposited in a central server. जो रेलवे जो मेट्रो का सेंट्रल सर्वर है ना, उसमें इस कार्ड का जो नंबर है उसके ऊपर मनी होता है. तो दैट सेंट्रल सर्वर हैज कि दिस नंबर कार्ड हैज दिस मच ऑफ मनी, एंड व्हेन यू पुट दिस कार्ड ऑन द रीडर, द रीडर डिडक्ट्स द मनी अकॉर्डिंग टू द डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल्ड, किस मीटर से कहां तक का. लॉजिक समझ में आया हाउ दिस कार्ड वर्क्स? ठीक है. अब ये जो ई रुपी है, दिस कुड बी लाइक सिमिलर थिंग. you can have a wallet, electronic wallet, like you can, जैसे आपका wallet आपने देखा होगा, ये क्या नाम है इसका, पेटीएम wallet. Have you seen the पेटीएम wallet? इसी तरीके से you will have a digital wallet, in that literally there will be a rupee. हाँ, उस पॉइंट पे मैं आऊंगा व्हेन आई विल कंपेयर विद ई करेंसी, वो क्या कहते हैं, क्रिप्टो करेंसी. वो इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है मींस के लिए. राइट नाउ आई एम ओनली एक्सप्लेनिंग व्हाट इज ई रुपी एंड हाउ इट वर्क्स. देखिए, व्हाटएवर आई हैव डिस्कस्ड, आई हैव नॉट टॉक अबाउट टेक्निकलिटीज, क्योंकि यूपीएससी डज नॉट केयर, सो वी शुड नॉट केयर. फर्स्ट थिंग, so what will happen in paytm wallet kind of things, you will have a wallet, central government's wallet, something in that you can keep a money, and I believe in future you will have a card, just I show you the metro card na, similarly you will have a card of rupee card. Rather than keeping physical note, you can keep a physical card. That card can be loaded with money, so yet that card will become your wallet. That card will be loaded with money, and you can tap that card on any merchant and it will do the transaction. Or if I have to give money to you, I will tap my card with your card. And that how it works. NFC. इस टेक्नोलॉजी की थोड़ी बात करते हैं. यूपीएससी had asked this technology in prelims. कभी सुना है आप लोगों ने NFC टेक्नोलॉजी? ये मोबाइलों में भी होती है आजकल. मोस्ट ऑफ द मोबाइल्स हैव दैट. वॉचों में भी होती है. यू पीपल हैव हर्ड अबाउट NFC? टेक्निकल है, आई एम गोइंग स्लो. अगर एनीथिंग यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड, प्लीज आस्क. नहीं पता, ओके, मैं थोड़ा सा नॉलेज देता हूँ. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल, लेट मी शो यू. हाँ, नियर फील्ड कम्युनिकेशन. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल दैट आई हैव दिस वॉच, इट्स अ गूगल पे इनेबल्ड वॉच. तो इस वॉच में NFC है. हाउ इट वर्क्स, इफ आई टैप दिस वॉच ऑन एनी मर्चेंट, इट कैरीज आउट द ट्रांजैक्शन. NFC हाउ इट वर्क्स, देखिए यहाँ पे चिप होती है अंदर. दिस चिप व्हाट इट विल डू, एज सून एज आई, जैसे मैंने आपको मेट्रो कार्ड दिखाया था, सेम वे दिस वॉच विल वर्क. इफ आई पुट दिस वॉच ऑन एनी रीडर, so what this watch will do, this watch will communicate my account detail to that reader, and by that the merchant can enter the amount, I will enter the code, and the money will be the money will be taken out. इसे बोलते हैं नियर फील्ड कम्युनिकेशन. क्यूआर थोड़ा अलग है, इसमें क्यूआर नहीं है, ना ना ना, क्यूआर डिफरेंट है, इसलिए आई वाज गोइंग स्लो, थोड़ा टेक्निकल है. क्यूआर इज डिफरेंट. क्यूआर में बस ये, क्यूआर में कोई रेडियो फ्रीक्वेंसी इन्वॉल्व नहीं होती. इसमें व्हाट यू हैव इज रेडियो फ्रीक्वेंसी इन्वॉल्व. हाउ इट वर्क्स, देखिए, दैट रीडर विल emit a radio wave. That radio wave will touch to the chip that is in this watch. This watch has already loaded my account details. ठीक है, this watch will communicate to that radio reader that these are the detail of the account holders, and that after that device will be connected to internet, and it will process my account details. Then you will enter the amount and done. यहाँ तक बताइए, समझ में आया कुछ? टेक्निकल है, आई नो. आप, आई थिंक किसी का भी साइंस एंड टेक नहीं हुआ है ना यहाँ पे? लगता है मुझे जेड क्लास सिक्योरिटी की डिमांड करनी पड़ेगी इंस्टीट्यूट से वॉच के लिए. चलो, तो ओके, तो एनएफसी में जो यू नीड टू रिमेंबर, आप इसका एक एग्जांपल देखते हैं हाउ एनएफसी वर्क्स. जो आपका मैंने मेट्रो कार्ड दिखाया ना, ऑलमोस्ट एवरीथिंग वर्क्स ऑन एनएफसी नाउ. योर मेट्रो कार्ड वर्क्स ऑन एनएफसी. दैट चिप and the reader has same mechanism. Chip has some components. The reader has electromagnetic waves, radio wave primarily. It communicate the wave to your chip. The chip communicate the details. तो आपका मेट्रो कार्ड हो गया, ठीक है। आजकल आपका टैप, आई थिंक जितने भी आपके कार्ड हैं, ऑल द डेबिट एंड क्रेडिट कार्ड, दे नाउ कम विद टैप फैसिलिटी। दैट टैप फैसिलिटी इज एनएफसी, वेरी यूबिक्विटस। और यूपीएससी ऐसे क्वेश्चन पूछता है विच इज अवेलेबल एवरीवेयर। जो आप डेली लाइफ में टेक्नोलॉजी दैट यूज ना, यूपीएससी से जरूर पूछता है, बिकॉज इट एक्सपेक्ट यू टू नो दैट टेक्नोलॉजी, यू आर यूजिंग इट डेली बेसिस। तो नियर, इसमें क्या है ना, फर्स्ट थिंग, इट इज नियर फील्ड ओनली। The electromagnetic waves that are produced by that reader are very near. Agar device, for example, device is here, so it will be not more than 1 to 2 meters at most. ज़्यादातर ये 1 meter के अंदर होती है. Beyond that, your device will not catch. NFC clear है, it uses radio magnetic signals. It is very near communication. Until unless you put your device near to another device, it does not do the transactions. And almost metro card, your e-watches that you have, Google Pay में, that your credit and debit cards, tap facility, everything is NFC. यहाँ तक बताइए, समझ में आया? Up till here, any question, anyone? ठीक है, तो let me summarize and move on. So we have understood few things. First, e-rupee has been launched. Proper technology when it comes into the news, I will cover it again with proper technology. So far, what we know about e-rupee is पहली चीज, it will be issued by RBI just like real currency that you have. Second, it can be held electronically, unlike the physical rupee you have. Third, it can be used for transaction for anyone, including individual, merchant, anyone. Third, fourth, that unlike क्या बोलते हैं, and you can convert this e-rupee into real rupee also. मान लेते हैं I give e-rupee to any merchant, that person can give me real hard cash if he does not have e-rupee in account or whatever. But e-rupee से e-rupee भी दे सकता है. And largely I believe future में it will be based on NFC technology. There will be a card loaded with money and that will have a chip which will work on NFC. Tap it and pay it. बोले गाइस, क्लियर है यहाँ तक? कोई क्वेश्चन? देन आई विल मूव अहेड. अगर कोई हो तो प्लीज आस्क. डोंट जस्ट, किसी को, नोबडी नोज एनीथिंग, सो डोंट फील शाय. अभी तो देखिए अंबर आया है, बिकॉज दिस इज बीइंग, दिस हैज बीन एक्सेप्टेड बाय हु? इसमें अभी, अच्छा, एक्सेप्टेड दिस, एक्सेप्टेड, आई डोंट गेट द पॉइंट. एक्सेप्टेड किस केस में कह रहे हैं? थोड़ा लेट मी नो. प्रियांशी, इन व्हाट एक्सेप्टेड, व्हाट? पर्सन टू पर्सन ट्रांजैक्शन, आई डोंट लिटरली गेट किस बारे में बात हो रही है, बट इट हैज टू बी एक्सेप्टेड. अच्छा, इन पीडीएफ लीगल टेंडर, ये वाला, दिस पॉइंट. और द अबव, अच्छा ठीक है. RBI recognizes digital rupee legal tender. Legal tender means the way you have real rupee. It is a legal tender. इसे हम टर्म बोलते हैं fiat currency. In economics, you will be taught this fiat currency. Fiat currency means that are approved by the governments. That are called fiat currency. You can use that. इसमें डिफरेंस ये होता है, उनकी वैल्यू डिफरेंट होती है. अगर एक पेपर पे I write 100 rupees and I give you, you won't take it. But that paper, in that 100 rupees is written, we take it because the government of India has authorized that paper to be used as a medium of exchange. Medium of exchange. So it had to be accepted by everyone because a legal tender now, just like your rupee. हाँ, वो, that was a disaster. Economics में पढ़ाया जाता है, that has basically destroyed our economy. Of course, it's a legal tender, RBI authorized. जैसे आपका पैसा लेने से मना करने में सेडिशन बनता है, इस पे भी बनेगा, पर ऐसा कोई करेगा नहीं. ओवर टाइम पीपल विल गेट अकस्टम्ड. अभी तो वैसे भी देखिए पायलट बेसिस पे है, इसमें चेंजेस आएंगे. पायलट बेसिस मींस ट्रायल, इट्स एन ट्रायल एंड एरर मेथड. अभी तो बहुत चेंज आने बाकी है इसमें. आई डोंट नो व्हाट विल बी द फाइनल फॉर्म. एज इट विल इवॉल्व वी विल कीप ऑन टेलिंग. अच्छा, यहाँ तक तो सब क्लियर? एनी क्वेश्चन? प्रियांशी has asked why need of it, वो मैं भी बताऊंगा when we will compare. अब यूपीएससी है ही करंट इवेंट बेस, क्या करें, यूपीएससी इज वेरी डायनामिक. चलिए, तो अब मैं लेट्स कम टू द लास्ट थिंग दैट आई वांट टू डिस्कस. एवरीथिंग इज इन द नोट्स, यू कैन रीड, लेट मी गिव यू अ डिटेल्स. ओके, for that to understand, Priyanshi has asked, why we are doing this all drama, why to take so much of pain, उस पर बात कर लेते हैं. For that you need to understand something called as क्या हो गया, cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency, there are numerous cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, your Lakshmi coin, Dog coin, पता नहीं कौन से बन गए आजकल तो. ठीक है, there are so many coins. You can make your own coin, Priyanshi coin, Aman coin, whatever may be the case. They have to be based on a certain technology. The cryptocurrency is based on the technology called blockchain. Very, 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 very important technology. It will change the face of the world that we see today. That's a guarantee here. It is gonna change the world. How, you will get to know right now. देखिए, how it works. Again, non-technical details. Technicality nobody will ask. How it works? For example, you have a page. The way you have a page in your book, you write the notes, then it gets filled, you turn the page, and you come to the next page, you write the notes. In similar way, blockchain works. In blockchain, you have a block. The way you have a page in the notes, they have a block. In this block, say for example, Priyanshi send 2 rupees to Aman. Say for example, in this case, Priyanshi said 2 Bitcoin to Aman. So what will happen in this case? This transaction of 2 Bitcoins will be registered here as a transaction number 1. What is the advantage? The advantage is this transaction will be registered and this transaction will be updated not only in the accounts of Priyanshi and Aman, but in every single computer connected. Every single computer of this world connected with the Bitcoin or have a Bitcoin wallet will simultaneously update this transaction in a block. Simultaneously. Same next transaction may Aman send something to, for example, Shubham, say for example. So that transaction will be registered as the next one. As say there are numerous and billions of transactions carrying out. Every transaction is instantaneously recorded in a ledger, in a block. Once this block gets filled, the way you have pages and pages of notes, same way may this block will be put behind a block already filled. And a new block will be generated. That will be empty. The way you turn the pages of them, you write notes, you turn the page, a new page comes, you write the notes. Similar way, a block is filled, it goes to the main notebook, and then a new blank page comes. So here the new blank page, new transactions. Once it will be filled, it will go here and put here. A new block will be created. Clear how this will create a chain of block that is called as blockchain. Clear everyone how this blockchain work? ब्लैक मनी, ठीक है, 2 डायमेंशन पर मैं डिस्कस करना है, वाई ई रूपी एंड ब्लैक मनी. ठीक है, आई विल लुक एट दैट इन अ सेकंड. यहां तक तो सबको क्लियर है, ठीक है. अब बिगेस्ट एडवांटेज, दिस मैकेनिज्म इज decentralized. Imagine I am a hacker, world best hacker. So I can hack at most Priyanshi's account, Aman's account, or Saurabh's account. I cannot hack billions of computers around the world. That is not feasible for any government, let alone a person. Any government, it put entire armed forces, entire population to hack. Tabhi you cannot hack every single mobile phone, e-watch, digital watch, mobile phone, numerous devices are there. You cannot hack every single device having a wallet of Bitcoin or digital coin. The thing is, it is virtually impossible to hack. So I don't get it. अगर hack तो अंबर बटे से इशू अगर रिकॉर्ड तो हो ही रहा होगा. अच्छा, impossible to hack. So the thing is, it is impossible to hack. But there is another problem. Another problem is this decentralized mechanism make banks redundant. You got your answer. Why e-rupee? Banks will become redundant. Central bank, how banks work? RBI, what is the role of RBI? RBI controls economy. How it controls economy? By increasing repo rate. What is repo rate? Repo rate is the interest charged by the bank for giving money to other banks. मान लेते हैं I am RBI. I give some money to SBI for some purposes. So I will charge a interest, a money on the money I have given, percentage of interest. उसे बोलते हैं repo. अब repo से RBI controls flow of money in the economy because RBI is the central bank. In this mechanism of cryptocurrency, there is no central bank. So RBI will become redundant. You get the point? It is a crisis. It is a crisis of existence. And that's why e-rupee. किसने पूछा था e-rupee वाला क्वेश्चन? You got the answer? Why e-rupee? प्रियांशी? नहीं समझ आया? e-rupee has been launched as a replacement of these cryptocurrencies because they are the future. And if they become the future, which has to, if they become the future, then RBI will become redundant. RBI's role is to manage economy, the term we call monetary policy. By that, RBI influences the money in the market. Kitna money hai, kitna nahi hai. If e-rupee is there, if cryptocurrency is there, nobody regulates this currency, nobody controls this currency, no central bank, no government. So RBI will become redundant. RBI cannot influence money in the economy. So how it will adjust inflation, deflation? कैसे adjust करेगा? अरे cost to print इतना नहीं है. Yes, RBI's control on money. That's monetary policy. RBI का prime role क्या है? Monetary policy. What is monetary policy? Controlling the flow of money. And e-rupee में, if cryptocurrencies that become substitute for the real hard currency, then no control whatsoever. Reason number one clear now? e-rupee decentralized नहीं है. वो second point था. किसी ने पूछा था शायद centralized decentralized में. e-rupee is not decentralized. So it is confirmed that e-rupee is not based on blockchain. अभी तो it is on trials. तो final version हमें पता नहीं है. As soon as the final version comes, we will get more clarity what is e-rupee actually. For now, we know it is not decentralized. The RBI will control the issuance of e-rupee, the way it controls rupee. Literally, it will control how many e-rupee will be generated in the market. The way it controls, बिल्कुल vulnerable होगा. That is the problem I wanted to come. इसके बाद यही बताने वाला था मैं that biggest advantage of blockchain is unhackability because of simultaneous updation in all computers of the world. E-rupee is controlled by RBI only. So it means it will be available and easy and prone to hackability. Hackability, vulnerability, लेकिन ये confirmed vulnerability नहीं होगी, but nonetheless it is highly vulnerable. जैसे आपके पैसे चुरा लेते हैं लोग पट्टी पे बंद, but now you have to be sophisticated. If you want to be a 21st century thief, you have to be sophisticated. अब आप बंदूक रख के पैसे नहीं चुरा पाओगे. All you have to do is hack somebody's account and you get rupee. बंदूक रख के गया जमाना. But sir, it is centralized and सॉल्यूशन देखेंगे. अभी देखिए फिलहाल तो हैकेबिलिटी का कोई सॉल्यूशन नहीं है. there is no solution. For example, आज भी your bank account get hacked every day. आज तक हम सॉल्यूशन नहीं निकाल पाए. हैकेबिलिटी का कोई सॉल्यूशन नहीं है इन दिस वर्ल्ड. नहीं, इसमें देखिए मेन अमन लॉजिक तो यही है that RBI wants to control economy. यहाँ पे ई करेंसी में इट कैन नॉट कंट्रोल हाउ मेनी बिटकॉइंस आर इन द मार्केट, हाउ मेनी बिटकॉइंस आर इन द मार्केट, बेसिकली देखिए बिटकॉइंस कैसे जनरेट होते हैं, देन यू विल अंडरस्टैंड बेटर। ये थोड़ा समझ लेते हैं। ओह सो मेनी कंफ्यूजन्स, ऐसा लग रहा है पहली बार पढ़ा है कि आप लोगों ने ब्लॉकचेन कभी। Aman is saying I have read this. It's a very important technology. There are few important technology in the world right now. The 3D printers, the 3D printer, the quantum computing. These will change the world as we know it. 3D printers, quantum computing, your neutron, neutrino, neutrino-based technology, and this crypto. These are the four technology that will change the world as we know today. Completely transform the world. और ये चारों को please cover in detail. Important for you, please. So let me come back again. How cryptocurrencies are generated? Cryptocurrency में what happens is you have to do a principle called mining. How mining? You have a computer. Computers have coding. हाँ, science and tech में है सारा part. But I'm telling you, important topic है, do cover them in detail. So mining में how it works? You have a computer. You have to solve mathematical problem and algorithms. जैसे कंप्यूटर कोडिंग में हमने देखा बहुत सारे algorithms keeps on running that numbers. So you have a computer, you have to process those numbers and you have to find a solution. And if you can solve that problem, that mathematical and numerical problems, in reward you get bitcoins. This is called mining. So bitcoins are mined the way you have a physical mining. देखिए virtual world कितना बदल चुका है. The way you do physical mining by digging everything and bringing out the gold and all from the earth, same way में you have to mine bitcoins by solving mathematical problem, algorithm and all. You get bitcoins as a you can say as a reward. Unlike this, e-rupee will be released by RBI. E-rupee will be released by RBI. So RBI can regulate how many e-rupee is there. RBI will issue this. No? So RBI, the way RBI issue little rupee that you have, same way RBI will issue e-rupee. RBI can issue, for example, 10 lakh e-rupee coins. Say, for example, 10 lakh e-rupee coin, 10 crore, 4 crore, 1 billion. But RBI will decide how many e-rupee will be in the market. And e-rupee can be used for transaction, the way you use. इसे बस इतना समझिए simple understanding में e-rupee is nothing but your currency in your mobile. बस. And nothing it is more than that. क्लियर है? प्रिंसिपल डिफरेंट है. माइनिंग है तो you cannot control how many bitcoin can come into the market. However, it is predicted there are finite numbers of bitcoin because the way you have natural resources on earth are finite. They are not indefinite natural resources. Similarly, bitcoin may be mining you have to do, and there are limited number of bitcoins in this world because that mathematical model and all is very limited. You have to do it, you have to process it and get bitcoins. So got the point why RBI is bringing this to control the economy, the weight control by its monetary management. Cryptocurrency it cannot control. ये first reason. Second reason पे आते हैं why it is being brought. Second reason is cryptocurrency is used nowadays for organized crimes. Sorry, let me run it. बिल्कुल करती होगी. Every government minds that. बताते नहीं है कोई भी, बिल्कुल करती होगी. Nobody tells that, but everyone does that. Okay. Second reason for bringing e-rupee is cryptocurrencies are used, खासकर bitcoins and all are used for organized crime. Particularly, अच्छा, I believe, have you ever heard of something called as dark web? कभी सुना है आप लोगों ने नाम? ठीक है. देखिए डार्क वेब नहीं सुना है तो इट्स वेरी पेक्यूलर, बट सुना है तो इट मींस यू आर क्राफ्टी, और हो सकता है मैंने बताया, आई डोंट नो. तो डार्क वेब, the web that you access, Google से जो आप access करते हैं, the internet that you access, it is predicted it is not more than 5 to 10% of the entire internet. Okay, that's why we call this thing as cyberspace. The way you have space in this world, the physical space, the air space, the space, little space. The way similarly you have cyberspace. There is an entire world in cyber dunya. Entire world. There are mind-blowing things happening there. One of that thing is dark web. Basically, it is the hidden part of the web. And to access that, you require special tools. This web you can simply access by Chrome. Open a Chrome browser, Firefox, जो भी आपके पास हो. Open that browser, access the internet. Connectivity is there, internet is your game. Web is yours. Go to Facebook, Instagram, whatever. That is the visible web. And that is predicted as only the 5 to 10%. If imagine you consider that web as a big world, imagine the dark web. So the remaining 90 to 80% of the web is dark web. So for accessing the dark web, you require some tools. It is not easy like Chrome wala, for a different. In that web, it is outside the boundaries of the government. अच्छा आप में से किसी ने कभी access किया है dark web को? Is there anyone who has accessed dark web ever? अमन ने ट्राई किया था. सीरीज में देखा है. अच्छा. I have, मैंने बहुत किया है, अभी भी करता हूँ मैं access. It's very मतलब ज़्यादा मुश्किल चीज नहीं है. Nonetheless, why I access? I have my reasons. They are actually I get a very beautiful. मुझे कुछ books वगैरह पढ़ना होता है ना, तो they are very costly to buy. First thing. Second, they are sometimes from foreign authors. If you watch, for example, some series, good documentary, तो they are geographically locked. Websites क्या करते हैं ना, geographically lock कर देती है. That is, for example, a series can only be seen in USA. अब मैं इंडिया में हूँ, तो I want to see that series because I believe उसमें documentary में अच्छा content है. VPN breakable होता है. VPN से मत सोचिएगा कि आपकी location trace नहीं हो सकती. Dark web gives you complete anonymity. Nobody can trace from where you are logging in. Dark web is that secure. कुछ loopholes है, but secure है. So in this, I have accessed it. Actually, it started with curiosity. I was very curious when I came to prepare for UPSC. Na, so I would get curious. क्या ये क्या चीज़ है? I'm a technology friendly person. So I access in curiosity. Then I discover a different world there. Believe me, dark web में you can get virtually everything, ranging from drugs. इसमें आप एक movie देखना कभी देख सको तो Silk Route करके. There was a person who made Silk Route website on dark web. Through this, he supplied drugs at home and using the network of regular network, जो आपके Amazon delivery वाला network होता है, Amazon and this Blue Dart. He used that network by using this dark web and a site to deliver drug at home. Such an innovative idea. तो उसमें movie बनी है properly. Real story, yes, it's a real story. Real. मैंने भी एक बार देखी थी Silk Route site. I was got curious. जब मैंने वो documentary देखी तो I searched for it and watched it. Nonetheless, it is taken down now. Now it is taken down. पता नहीं, I don't know. I don't take पता नहीं मुझे. Nonetheless, तो logic clear है that dark web में what happens is dark web में you can purchase counterfeit currency, guns, weapons, drugs, prostitution, everything that you can imagine. Heinous to heinous space are available in dark web. First thing. Second thing, good things are also available. Now imagine this. Dark web is a space of freedom. A freedom को some people abuse. Some people use it. For example, you people. Parents send you here for UPSC. You are out of the watch of your parents. Now, illegal access illegal नहीं है, but there are illegal things on dark web. If you do something bad, of course police will catch you. अगर पकड़ पाए तो. Accessing is not illegal, but doing some, for example, accessing internet is not illegal. But if you start morphing picture of woman on the internet, so of course illegal. Clear? अच्छा, हाँ. यार हम ज़्यादा टेक्निकल में चले गए सब लोग. Of course drug illegal है यार. अब मैं क्या बताने वाला था एडवांटेज. देखिए डार्क वेब में क्या होता है बेसिकली, इट्स अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक फॉर इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी. वी आर अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिस बिकॉज इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी में इट कम्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक. हाउ दिस new era of crimes are happening. ये जो आप लोन वुल्फ अटैक देख रहे हैं, दे आर डायरेक्ट आउटकम ऑफ डार्क वेब. दे यूज डार्क वेब एंड क्रिप्टोकरेंसीज. By using cryptocurrencies, you can buy virtually everything in dark web. Dark web में you can buy anything, but you cannot pay in dollars or money, rupee. You have to have cryptocurrency for that. By cryptocurrency, you can buy virtually everything, including an assassin. If you do not like somebody, go to dark web and order an assassination. Pay them in cryptocurrency. Nobody will know your name. They will know only the target's name. Nonetheless, so it's a good thing also. Why? Imagine country like China. हमें कैसे पता लगता है what is happening in China? Through dark web. Dark web में people who China में where it is hard, where if government get to know you are talking to somebody in internet, virtually you're dead. So what happens is China, Russia, North Korea, these are closed countries. They do not allow their people to access the world freely. Internet पे भी they keep a censorship, high censorship. So how we get to know what is happening inside China? मान लीजिए how China is treating this Uyghur Muslims. तो कैसे पता लगा? Numerous sources. One of that is dark web. Dark web में people who are Chinese dissenters, North Korean and all. India is a free country. तो यहाँ पे तो you can write an article on Facebook. तो यहाँ तो problem नहीं है. But in country like China, it's a problem. You will be instantaneously killed. Government will take you and say, चलो ससुराल चलो and खत्म कहानी. But here they upload their ideas. So dark web is a good and bad place both, depending upon how you use it. पहली चीज. अब दूसरी चीज, it's a big crime, very very big crime because देखिए cryptocurrency से you can order anything, use cryptocurrency, and this is how terrorism flourished in 21st century. जो आज आप terrorism देख रहे हैं, that is a combination using dark web and cryptocurrencies. And that is why the second reason is this: organized crime. To deal with the problem of dark web combining with cryptocurrency, RBI will launch e-rupee to substitute cryptocurrency, so that government can control and dilute or at least restrict organized crime, खासकर funding of terrorism. हालांकि कितना substitute कर पाएंगे cryptocurrency को, I don't see a future. Because जो लोग cryptocurrency इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं, they have a different ecosystem. They are less likely to adopt rupee. इंडिया में भी इंडिया में डार्क वेब एक्सेस करना इलीगल नहीं है. इंडिया में लॉ पहले नंबर आधे हमारे पार्लियामेंट्रीज को पता ही नहीं होगा. आई गारंटी यू 99% ऑफ पार्लियामेंट्रीज डज नॉट नो व्हाट इज डार्क वेब. तो कैसे लॉ लाएंगे? उसमें पता भी तो होना चाहिए. कानून तो तब आएगा ना. नहीं पता होगा. हाँ, सेक्रेटरीज वगैरह को पता होगा, खासकर होम मिनिस्ट्री वगैरह को पता होगा हाउ टू रेगुलेट. पुलिस में भी पता होगा, बट नेताओं में मुझे उम्मीद कम है. Nonetheless, clear है. I have discussed. This is how you have to cover technology. Understand their significance, linking them with internal security, environment, policy, governance. इस तरीके से you have to write a comprehensive answer. If a question comes on cryptocurrency, first you will write technical part. That cryptocurrency is based on blockchain, this and this, this and this. Then you will write significance. It is disadvantage. It is used for funding terrorism. It is used for accessing dark web and this and that. Then advantages. E-rupee is launched. This is this. सबको क्लियर? न्यूज इज क्लियर? बहुत टाइम लगा लिया हमने इसमें. चलिए अब मूव करते हैं नेक्स्ट न्यूज पे. आई होप वी हैव अंडरस्टूड टू न्यूज सो फार. थर्ड न्यूज, जुडिशियल अपॉइंटमेंट. इसमें अभी इशू चल रहा है. वी हैव कवर्ड इस मल्टीपल टाइम. पॉलिटी में भी कवर किया गया होगा आई बिलीव. जुडिशियल अपॉइंटमेंट. So how what is the issue? Let me summarize quickly. The issue that we have is simply there used to be a process under the constitution. The executive along nahi, you don't. And number dark web is a space. Just for example, you have internet pe if you buy something, then you use your credit card, debit card. Same way dark web mein if you're buying something, some service or something, then you use cryptocurrency to pay. Otherwise to access to free hai. You can surf through dark web like window shopping wala. चलिए अब नेक्स्ट, executive, legislature plus judiciary. We know this. So basically this role was given to executive and judiciary. Together they used to appoint the judges. Together they used to appoint the judges. But then we know what happened. We know something beautiful happened. Basic structure doctrine came in. In which case this doctrine was given? Anyone? किस केस में दिया था हमने डॉक्ट्राइन, मतलब जुडिशरी ने? यस, केशवानंदा भारती. In Keshwananda Bharti case, Supreme Court gave the doctrine a basic structure, and the judges and the executive got angry, primarily Indira Gandhi. So what she did, she promoted a junior judge, A&D, to the Chief Justice of India. Before this, the practice was that the senior most judge is promoted to Chief Justice of India. She promoted a lower, a junior judge. Okay, fine, that was the power of executive nonetheless. So the three judges before him gave their resignation. Same thing was done by Indira Gandhi again in MU back when she promoted MU back, superseding Justice Khanna. Who was Justice Khanna? This is the person that New York Times once said that someday someone will erect a monument of justice in the name of Khanna. Someday someone in India will erect a monument of justice in the name of Justice Khanna. He was the person who is renowned for basically cancelling the candidature of Indira Gandhi. Allahabad High Court mein the at that point of time. He cancelled the candidature of Indira Gandhi. Then case went to Supreme Court. Nonetheless, so basically what happened, Supreme Court mein the, Supreme Court mein MU bag was promoted. Again, these examples showed that government of India tried to undermine the independence of judiciary. It was a signal that if you will not obey me, I will do things. Just say you get signal nowadays. A lot of institution get signals nowadays. Can you imagine किसी जज की आज औकात है ऐसा कुछ करने की? Do you think some judge will be dare to do something what Justice Khanna did once upon a time? हो सकती है. I think Justice Chandrachud had that. जो हमारे current Chief Justice है, very good person. Nonetheless, so after the judiciary decided कि भाई कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा. So for that they got first judge's case. Second you got two judges, second judge's case. Then you get third judge's case. I'm not going in details, summarizing them. In a summary, in all these three cases, ultimately a system was established in which the Chief Justice of India, along with four senior most judges, that was a third judge's case basically, four senior most judges will give a recommendation for the judges in judiciary. That's the process that was established. This is called collegium system. This four judges plus CJI plus four judges is called collegium system. Then Modi government came in. Modi government has brought a law, the amendment to constitution, creating National Judicial Appointment Commission. Supreme Court, in Supreme Court advocates on record, known as SCORA, or also known as fourth judge's case. This is known as fourth judge's case. In this case, Supreme Court basically declared this commission as unconstitutional. And since then, dispute चल रहा है. अब उसी dispute की हम बात करेंगे. We will understand what is the dispute here. The dispute that is going on, for which this Vice President of India has commented recently, and that's why we are understanding the news. The dispute is appointment. There's too much vacancies in judiciary, खासकर high courts में, lower courts में तो और भी ज़्यादा. So there's too much vacancy in judiciary. Judiciary blame executive, executive blame judiciary. What is the current process? The current process is, after annulment of NJAC, the current process is the CGI plus four judges recommend a person to the elevation of Supreme Court of India or High Courts to the President. The President then have two options, either to appoint and that person will become the judge of Supreme Court or High Court concerned, or President can return the advice once. He can return the advice. And then if judges send it again, then President has to appoint. This is the current process of appointment of judges. What is the problem? The problem is if the President does not like a recommendation, and President we all know सबको पता है ना, president is more or less like a rubber stamp. He does not have any power of his own. All the executive power of the union are vested in president. कौन सा article है ये? All the executive power of the union are vested in president. Which article is that? Yes, 53. But we also know that president cannot exercise any of those powers without the recommendation of councils of ministers headed by prime minister. So basically, if the government, the prime minister, the executive does not like the recommendation, the president can always use pocket veto. Because of course, you cannot force the president to sign anything. You have recommended. अब government को पसंद नहीं है, government will return once, but then you again send it. The president can always exercise pocket. This is a power always available to the president because time limit नहीं है that you have to appoint a judge in this time. So judiciary blame executive for the delay. Executive blame judiciary because these judges, CGI and 4 senior judges, they are burdened by numerous cases. Supreme Court में बहुत cases हैं. So they are burdened. They have to go for day-to-day hearing. So they are unable to basically vet a candidate properly and give a good recommendation. So ये dispute चल रहा है, and this is why we are studying the news. First thing, यहाँ तक clear है what is the dispute that is going on? Okay, now we have to look the problem in collegium. 60 मैंने यहाँ लिखा हुआ कितने केस है, एग्जैक्ट फिगर आई डोंट रिमेम्बर, ब्लेम गेम तो होता ही रहता है. देखिए ऐसा नहीं है कलीजियम इज बियॉन्ड, क्या बोलते हैं, कलीजियम इज परफेक्ट, कलीजियम इज हैज डन बैड थिंग्स. लेट मी, मैंने इसमें एग्जांपल सा लिखा होगा, कहां है, नहीं लिखा है. फॉर एग्जांपल, हैव यू एवर हर्ड ऑफ अ पर्सन कॉल्ड जस्टिस कर्नन? जस्टिस कर्नन, वेरी फेमस पर्सन. Of course, that person became, मैं बता देता हूँ इसकी स्टोरी क्या है. That person became a high court judge, of course. सुप्रीम कोर्ट के कलीजियम से रिकमेंडेशन गया होगा. That person initiated a CBI. रंजन गोगोई, उसकी भी बात कर लेंगे, ठीक है. तो बेसिकली कर्नन, बेसिकली दिस पर्सन ऑर्डर्ड सीबीआई टू इन्वेस्टिगेट द जजेस ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट. मतलब पता नहीं क्या भांग वांग खाई थी, आई डोंट नो. So this person basically orders CBI कि भाई go and investigate the Supreme Court judges and submit a report. मतलब पता नहीं क्या हुआ. So this person basically was a high court judge, recommendation of collegium. So this is सस्ता नशा किया होगा शायद. So this is one of the cases. There are numerous cases in which the appointment made by the collegium are very biased, very biased. Let's take an example here. I have written this. नाम का है ये रहा. फॉर एग्जांपल, कलीजियम रिकमेंडेड अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ जस्टिस माहेश्वरी एंड जस्टिस खन्ना. अब देखिए व्हाट इज द थिंग. कलीजियम ऑलवेज सेज दिस सुप्रीम कोर्ट व्हेन दे annulled the NJAC, they said कि we you will interfere in judiciary, and when we ask why you appoint in non transparent manner, किसी को नहीं पता how you select the judges, what is the criteria, what is the thing. बस 4-5 लोग बैठे, बकैती करी, सिलेक्ट कर लिया. दिस इज द आर्गुमेंट गिवन बाय क्रिटिक्स. सो कॉलेजियम से, सुप्रीम कोर्ट से नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है, वी सेलेक्ट पीपल विद मेरिट. अब एग्जांपल देखिए मेरिट का. कॉलेजियम सिस्टम में वी ऑल नो देयर इज चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया प्लस में 4 सीनियर मोस्ट जजेस ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट. व्हाट हैपेंड, द कॉलेजियम रिकमेंडेड महेश्वरी एंड जस्टिस खन्ना टू बी एलिवेटेड, ठीक है, बट this name was changed in an arbitrary manner. Why? Because collegium changed. A judge got CGI retired, new CGI came. New CGI के आते ही recommendation बदल गए. ये कैसे possible है? If you are doing everything on merit, then merit does not care about the chief justice. Changing of chief justice change the recommendations. It shows something is going wrong. And the biggest problem in collegium system is non-transparency. There is no transparency how the judges are selected, what is the criteria they adopt, how they are appointed. So this reason I believe NJAC was a good system. इसे abolish नहीं करना चाहिए. They could have reformed it. because ultimate interpretation is with judiciary. The judiciary can interpret NJAC by any manner. They should not abolish it. Clear? So currently judges are too much powerful, unaccountable to anyone. We need accountability. With powers come accountability. And our judges are too much powerful without accountability. And that's why we have people like Justice Karnan, we have Ranjan Gogoi, a person sitting in his own rape trial, assault, sexual assault trial. A person sitting in his own sexual assault trial and giving himself a free clean chit. ऐसे लोग भी हैं. We should impeach them. And then, of course, he was again. I'm not saying that he committed that. That is not my role or your role. That will police and judiciary will decide. But a person sitting in his own trial is surely immoral. And then he was rewarded. किसी को पता कैसे reward किया गया था? He was rewarded by the BJP government. हाँ, छुट्टी में सबसे बड़ी बात ये थी. हॉलीडे के दिन he opened the Supreme Court and then this judgment. अब इसमें देखिए, that is what I was said. That is what I said in starting. How come questioning an MP become question to Parliament? How come criticizing minister become criticism of the government? How come criticizing prime minister become criticism of India? How come criticizing a judge become criticism of court and contempt of court starts? So this is the problem with these people. These people with power, na, they portray their interest as national interest. हाँ, but ऐसा नहीं होता. देखिए शिवानी, independence and accountability goes together. Independence, accountability does not dilute independence. और NJAC में you could have interpreted it. Judiciary ने argument यही दिया था कि it is against independence of judiciary. But that argument does not hold. Because NJAC को you could have interpreted. You could have said that NJAC में out of 6 people, Chief Justice is there na. So you could have interpreted. Ultimate interpretation of the Constitution is the judiciary. They could have interpreted that Chief Justice of India will have privilege. Interpret कर लेते. That if Chief Justice of India says no to some recommendation, NJAC will not forward it. Interpret karo, you have the power. But abolishing and saying that nobody has any authority, argument were bad. Let me show you how. Everything is in the notes, you can read. मैं बस explain कर रहा हूँ. देखिए, argument given by judiciary was that it includes 2 eminent persons. This is plain obnoxious. It includes participation of prime minister and leader of opposition in selection of eminent persons. It includes law ministers. Well, what you are saying, that you are above everyone. You are the God born on earth, that no one can judge you. No eminent person can participate in a selection. Prime minister cannot participate. Leader of opposition cannot participate. And they 3 थे. Retired नहीं थे, functioning थे. NJAC की composition थी. NJAC की composition में you have the Chief Justice of India plus में 2 judges, then 1 law minister, and then 2 eminent person. 2 eminent person, law minister, and 3 judges थे to select. So good composition थी. Government was there, eminent peoples were there, CGI was there, judiciary was there. So the argument is judiciary could have interpreted. Judiciary could have said that any recommendation not acceptable to CGI shall not be forwarded. That is acceptable. But ये कहना कि law minister का participation, eminent persons participation, prime minister participation, LOP participation undermine judiciary, ये तो गलत है. You are not God. Why you are not God? This is what Ambedkar said. Ambedkar, B.R. Ambedkar has said that after all, Chief Justice is a man with all the fallings that we as a common people have. He is just a man. He is not a God, or she is not a God. That person has all the ill sides that you and I possess. That is a BRM. You can directly put this argument in judiciary appointment case. Second thing, parliamentary committee ने भी ये बात बोली है. Parliamentary Standing Committee has said that Supreme Court has distorted the mandate of the Constitution. Clear है सबको issue? They are bad recommendation, and I also believe collegium must reform. NJAC was a good idea. They could have interpreted the NJAC, but abolishing NJAC was bad. For example, तो देखिए इस जजमेंट का बहुत अच्छा एग्जांपल बन सकता है. बिल्कुल ट्रांसपेरेंट नहीं. अगर शिवम, if there would be transparency, then you Google this. Shivani, you Google this. how many SC ST have become the Supreme Court judges and how many women have become the Supreme Court judges? Supreme Court has always been in control of the upper caste. I too belong to upper caste, but still I will say something which is true. Supreme Court has always been under the command of upper caste. Women to एक single 75 years of independence, 72 years of Constitution of India, and you could not find a single woman capable of becoming Chief Justice. ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता, ठीक है? So there are problem with collegium. It is non-transparent. It is too much concern. There is no guarantee how they select judges, no criteria, nothing. 2032 में कौन बन रहा है? कोई जज है इस वक्त? वो बन रहा है. चलो, I hope our wishes come true. I hope. Chaliye, I will be more happy when there will be a transgender in Supreme Court. तब पता लगेगा Supreme Court is literally good. I will be more happy when a transgender will become a Supreme Court justice. They require justice. Deprived people must be at the highest position of authority. वरना उन्हें जज इंसाफ कौन देगा? I'm not saying Supreme Court is bad. हाँ, collegium को बचाने के लिए कर सकता है, हो सकता है, दोनों. But I believe collegium is a bad system, and Supreme Court is not immune to criticism. उन्होंने भी बहुत गलतियाँ की. इतिहास, for example, आपको शायद याद हो सबको habeas corpus case. You people remember habeas corpus case or Idiom Jabalpur? Habeas corpus याद है सबको? Anyone? Simple that when you, in this case, Supreme Court denied a petition of habeas corpus, which is to protect the life of a person. Habeas corpus is used to protect the life of a person. आपने वो तक deny कर दी. So ऐसा नहीं है, judiciary has not have its dark phases, but nonetheless, after all the criticism we have made, judiciary has protected us. I always say one thing: if you are living with freedom, if the government of India does not have a gun over your head, then you have to thank the Supreme Court of India. No doubt, it has protected our freedom. But nonetheless, collegium has to do. चलिए, clear है? All the arguments that I have made are from various scholars. I have just summarized them in one note. सबको notes में you can read by yourself. I have summarized everything. ठीक है, तो हमने सुप्रीम कोर्ट का देख लिया है. अभी इशू जो चल रहा है वो MOP पे है. इसको याद रखिएगा सब लोग. टर्म मेमोरेंडम ऑफ प्रोसीजर. इट इज नथिंग. It's a command basically. MOP क्या होता है? MOP basically talks about what is the eligibility criteria, what is the procedure of dealing with complaint and screening. For selection of judges, a memorandum of procedure is created. So a dispute is going on between the government and the Supreme Court on a memorandum of procedure also, because governments want a MOP having wider zone of consideration. What is this? It means that anyone, including Attorney General, your Chief Minister, Advocate General, any minister, they can recommend any person to become the judge of Supreme Court to the collegium. They can say to the collegium, sir, this is the person I believe is best fit for the Supreme Court. Consider this. Then the collegium will consider and send the recommendation to the president. So they want wider zone of consultation. अब Supreme Court ये नहीं चाहता. Supreme Court is dead against कि नहीं भाई नहीं, ये नहीं चलेगा. These people will not tell us who we have to appoint. In this, remember a statement of Transparency International. Transparency International has emphasized that Indian judiciary is the second most corrupt institution after police. मैंने कहा upper court में तो नहीं होगा, but lower court. Have you been, any one of you have ever been to a court? खासकर lower court. वहाँ पे if you see ना, दलाल we call them, वो कोर्ट के बाहर ही खड़े होते हैं. आप जाइएगा कभी तो वो they will be like, सर क्या काम करवाना है बताइए, अभी करवा के देता है. Give me this money, मैं भी sort करवा देगा. So on the just out hospital, ठीक है, hospital is different number. हम hospital भी हर जगह पाए जाते हैं, but judiciary, judge, court, they are supposed to be a temple of justice. उनके बाहर if somebody is standing and saying, sir, give me money, I will get your work done. Just slap on the judiciary's face that in your premise, just outside your premise, there are pimps who are ready to get things done. अच्छा, द बाबू इन फ्रंट ऑफ जज आस्क फॉर मनी। हाँ, बाबू बैठते हैं ना, वो टाइपिंग वाइपिंग वाले जो होते हैं। चलिए, नॉनदलेस इशू क्लियर है। तो वी हैव टू इश्यूज इन अपॉइंटमेंट। एनजैक के बाद एमओपी, मेमोरेंडम ऑफ प्रोसीजर, इन विच देयर इज द जुडिशरी एंड द गवर्नमेंट इज फाइंडिंग एंडलेसली। हाँ, तारीख पे वो तो जज करता है, वो बस बोलते हैं कल आना परसों आना वाला। नॉनदलेस, अब इसका रीजन क्या है? व्हाई दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम? द प्रॉब्लम इज बिकॉज ऑफ वैकेंसीज ऑफ जजेस, because of quality of judges, because of corruption in judiciary. There are numerous problems. Most important, vacancies. Why there is vacancies? Because it's very obvious. Though there is blame game between judiciary and executive. Judiciary blame executive, executive blame judiciary. But the real game is nobody is interested. Why I blame both? Reason. The government is to blame, no doubt. Why Supreme Court is to blame? Supreme Court has a power under Article 142 and Article 144. सबको पता है आर्टिकल 144 एंड आर्टिकल 142। आर्टिकल 142 is known as empowers the Supreme Court of India to issue any order to do complete justice. And Article 144 says that all authorities within the territory of India shall be available to the Supreme Court to carry out its judgment. मतलब this article, these two articles, makes India Supreme Court as the world's most powerful court. World's most powerful. These two articles make Indian Supreme Court as the world's most powerful court. Or the world's most powerful court says कि I am helpless in front of executive. बात नहीं बतेगी. Use Article 142. Use Article. आप हर जगह 142 इस्तेमाल करते हैं. You keep on using 142 every now and then. Use 142 and order this. Create. देखिए, if police says this, if an IPS says, "Yeah, I'm helpless because I'm controlled by politician," fine, because that IPS has no power. Executive में there is no power. IAS and IPS, they are basically run on the command of the politicians. उससे तो कुछ नहीं कर पाते because they do not have constitutional powers like Supreme Court. Supreme Court can order that every vacancy in judiciary must be filled within 6 months on automatic basis. Use this article. कौन रोक सकता है आपको? So getting my point, blame game is easy, but taking ownership and using your power is necessary. The Supreme Court can use this power, and this is something you can directly write in mains. Mains में अगर question आए और the interview panel asks, so you can directly quote this. Yes, sir, the Supreme Court has the power under Article 142 and 144. It is unlike the police or the executive or the bureaucracy, which is which does not have such powers. But Supreme Court can make a compulsory order that all the vacancies, as soon as they occur, must be filled within 6 months. It can do that. If want, create a body. Judiciary can order under Article 140 to create a new body. So सबको clear है, judiciary has the power. Judiciary is hiding behind the cloak of executive. चलिए, तो हमने सारी बातें कर ली, सारी सबको हमने क्रिटिसाइज कर लिया, किसी को नहीं बख्शा। अब मुझे आएंगे नोटिस हर जगह से, कोर्ट से भी, गवर्नमेंट से भी। शिवानी, no one is interested. The logic is, इतना इंटरेस्ट होता तो बात ही क्या होती? They should do this. They can do this. I told you they blame each other. Judiciary blame executive, executive blame judiciary, and both are not doing their work. If both work diligently, तो दोनों कुछ अचीव कर सकते हैं. A cooperation is required. Government wants कि judiciary power of appointment dilutes. The judiciary wants that my power of appointment does not dilute. So it's the ego war that is going on between them. It's the egotism. Red tapeism अलग होता है. मैं तो इसे egotism कहूँगा. There are two parties with utmost ego. अब देखिए, if from your and my perspective, a lot of things does not make sense. मान लीजिए Ukraine war. What is Ukraine war? It's the ego war. Russian Vladimir Putin has his ego. I will teach Russia. I will teach Ukraine a lesson. Ukraine president has an ego that I am not your puppet. I will join NATO. US has his ego, and who is suffering? The people of Ukraine and the soldiers of Germany. Sorry, and the soldiers of Russia. They are suffering. The real sufferers are that because the people in high chambers, sitting in high, what they say, palaces, thinks that the people's life is cheap and their politics is superior. अमन वी कैन एस्टैब्लिश, नहीं एक साथ मत कीजिए, स्लोली कर लीजिए. आई एम नॉट सेइंग डू इट कंटिन्यूअसली, कैन बी स्लो. देयर आर न्यूमरस मैकेनिज्म यू कैन अडॉप्ट. ये नहीं कि तुरंत कर दीजिए. यही तो, ये ईगो वॉर है और कुछ नहीं है. People die because of egos of some people sitting in high chambers because they think that the people life is very cheap. चलिए कोई नहीं, उनकी पॉलिटिक्स है. अब हर जगह होती है, क्या कर सकते हैं इस बारे में. Nonetheless, Indian inequality report. We are discussing this report because of this report is important as a footer point. Direct question नहीं आएगा इससे. ठीक है, इससे all you have to remember few point that I have listed. इससे ज्यादा मत करना. Do not do anything beyond this in this report. It will be like a footer point where you can use this in e-governance. E-governance is a chapter in your governance. और शिवा ने इसमें पॉलिटिक्स की पावर बोली है. पावर करप्ट्स एंड एब्सोल्यूट पावर करप्ट्स एब्सोल्युटली. हमने अभी एग्जांपल लिया जस्टिस कर्नन एंड रंजन गोगोई का. इफ यू आर पावरफुल यू थिंक यू आर अबव द लॉ. दैट इज ना फॉर अ मैन विद अ हैमर एवरीवन इज अ नील. एक कांसेप्ट हमने पढ़ा है पॉलिटी में. कैन एनीवन टेल मी द कांसेप्ट वी हैड स्टडीड which make the powerful people feel that they are above the law? Yes, soft state. That is the biggest problem. Soft state affects everyone. For example, you become an IAS and you think आज अब आप तो immune हो गए, you are IAS. नहीं भाई, somebody is powerful than you. If you will abuse your authority, somebody will abuse their authority over you. ऐसा नहीं है you are too much powerful. हर कोई किसी को जवाब दे रहा होता है. And when they will abuse their authority, ना, you will be helpless. You are powerful vis-a-vis individual citizen. You're not powerful vis-a-vis politician. And politician is not powerful vis-a-vis minister. Minister is not powerful vis-a-vis prime minister. And prime minister is not powerful vis-a-vis courts. तो हर कोई किसी न किसी पे पावर का सब्जेक्ट है. And this is soft state. When people in power think they are above the law and everyone suffers, ranging from a rickshaw wala to the prime minister. We have to deal with that. Nonetheless, next statement, footer, e-governance, governance. So this is a part of your syllabus. This news is important. So jaldi se let us look at the news. Simply highlights are there. Key highlights of the report: gender divide. Gender divide is that by this you can use 1/3 of internet users in women. मतलब, of all 2/3 are men and 1/3 are women. Only 61% men and 31% women have mobile phones. So it means still we have to cover technology. Technology still has to reach to the farthest portion of India's society. It will take time. Immediately नहीं होता. Society will take time to change. Nonetheless, good point. You can use it for empowerment in government scheme. So you can use this as a criticism. मान लीजिए government has a scheme to provide e-education. So you can use this argument that as highlighted by India Inequality Report, only 60%, 61% men and 31% women have mobile phones. So the government initiative of e-technology may not reach everyone, especially women, because only 31% have mobile phones. Clear? तो इस तरीके से you use this content. Next आपका religious divide है. इसमें chances of sick person owning a computer is higher than that of Christian, Hindu and Muslim. ST household have the lowest propensity to use financial services. So these all points are footer points. इसलिए मैंने छोटा सा article रखा है, ज़्यादा डिटेल नहीं. Clear सबको how you will use all these points. They are a footer point to make your argument in mains answer writing, in governance, polity, ethics, wherever. Clear everyone? Small news, small topic. तो चलिए, अभी तक गया 2 घंटे की क्लास and I'm all exhausted. कोई क्वेश्चन, एनीथिंग यू वांट टू आस्क? इतनी जल्दी हो रही है, थक गए? हाँ, रिलीजन में भी इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, सिख वाला, मुस्लिम वाला, क्रिश्चियन वाला. मतलब फुडर है. आई एम सेइंग इट इज नॉट मेन कंटेंट, इट इज द फुडर कंटेंट व्हिच यू यूज टू सब्सटेंशिएट योर आर्गुमेंट और इंक्रीज द कंटेंट ऑफ योर आंसर. बस. चलो, देन वी विल मीट अगेन नेक्स्ट सैटरडे और फॉर रिमेन 8 सेकंड. यस, as far as I know कोई फाइल नहीं हुई. हार्ट ब्रोकन था वैसे भी, इट वाज अटरली हार्ट ब्रोकन। और मुझे सबसे ज्यादा बुरा इस बात से लगा दैट द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया रिवॉर्डेड दैट पर्सन बाय गिविंग देम राज्यसभा सीट। उस व्यक्ति को मोदी गवर्नमेंट गिव राज्यसभा सीट बाय नॉमिनेशन। दैट वाज द वर्स्ट ऑफ द वर्स्ट। एक तो उसने करा ही करा, सुप्रीम कोर्ट की इज्जत की धज्जियां उड़ाई। आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट दैट पर्सन वाज गिल्टी, वो मैं नहीं कह रहा, दैट इज नॉट माय प्लेस टू से, बट आई एम सेइंग इज द वे इट वाज कंडक्टेड, इट वाज इमोरल। दैट इज नॉट हाउ मोरालिटी वर्क्स, दैट इज नॉट हाउ जस्टिस वर्क्स। वो आर्गुमेंट है ना, जस्टिस शुड नॉट बी डन ओनली, इट शुड बी सीन टू बी डन। तो यहाँ पे सीन वाला पार्ट नहीं था। बाकी रिव्यू का मुझे आइडिया नहीं, यू कैन सर्च इफ यू वांट। चलिए, एनी अदर क्वेश्चन नहीं है ना? चलिए, so we will meet next Saturday with some great news. Yes, Tata Amber. Bye everyone. मंडे क्लासेस होती है अंबर, कैसे होगा? चलिए बाय।